Elpido, I've never heard of. The big four of chess tactics. I mean, what is this stuff?
First, a double attack is exactly what it sounds like. You create 2 threats with 1 move. Next, a fork is the most common form of double attack. One piece moves and attacks 2 different pieces. Then is when an attacked piece cannot move, because doing so would allow the capture of a more valuable piece.
Sam Copeland, he sounds a lot like that vegan guy.
I only eat meat. I'm going to the Meat Stock Flesh Festival.
Finally, among our big 4, we have discoveries, or discovered attacks.
I feel like probably at least 10 of the things he said in there I'd never heard of before. Yeah, by the way, you guys, so call 1-800-888-8888 if you want to order a limited edition Hikaru banana bread cake. It's selling for like $29.95 plus tax. So make sure you call that number. Obviously, it's a satire, so don't do that. I don't even think that's a real number, by the way. But it's all satire. This cake is a sponsored ad, yeah. Island girl. Okay, so we get e4, e5. Now, I've said e4 in many videos. I want to do something different because I've generally advocated the Scotch. I've also advocated the Spanish. I'm going to advocate something different. So I'm going to advocate you play this d4 system. Now, this is a little bit dangerous, but one of the good things with bringing your queen out early is that you can develop very quickly. So you can move the knight, the bishop, and the castle here, and you just want to go 1, 2, 3. Now, if black plays knight before to attack the pawn, that could be a slight problem, but usually you're just going to move the queen and then kick the horse. So like if you were to move the knight here, for example, you move the queen to guard, and then you kick the horse with c3 next turn. So now I'm going to go knight c3 to develop. And I want to just develop my bishop and castle my king. So I'm going to develop the bishop, castle my king here out of the middle of the board. If he goes bishop c5 to attack this queen here, I can slide over to hit both the pawns and create the classic 90-degree right triangle as well. Hikaru, sir, banana cake free giveaway. Free giveaway. I don't know. Let's just castle following our plan here. Very steady. Now I have a free hand or an invisible hand to start pushing all the p on the king side here very quickly, and my opponent's way behind development. See how the king, queen, bishop, and the rooks are not developed yet? Now is when I want to pounce because I've finished my development immediately. So what I'm going to play here is I'm going to go knight to d5. If he trades, it opens up the queen to assault the king. If he goes here, I can move the bishop here to try and assault on this diagonal. So it's looking pretty good for me. So obviously I'm joking. For anybody who's watching this video, you'll probably notice the name of this arena, since you're watching this on YouTube, is called the GMHikaru Teaches the Big Four Arena. There was a chess.com video that came out a couple days ago by Sam Copeland about the 31 basic tactics and the big 4, of course. So that's what we're theming this after. So he takes. Now I'm gonna take with the queen to attack the rook on the diagonal. I also have 90-degree right triangles, and it's a very good position. So I am memeing, of course, off of that video that Sam Copeland did. So now we go knight to f6. The king here, no fianchettoed bishop. The king is very naked on this diagonal, and I'm probably going to attack and win the game. Now I should probably be careful because I don't want this to become a demonetized video with too many weird references. So he goes king h8. So here I'm just going to take the pawn. We create the classic fossil here. It's a discovered assault on the king or discovered attack on the king on h8. Now I'm going to go back. We create the discovered check on the king to win the queen, and now it's all collapsing immediately. Just going to develop I'm going to go for another fork here. I go knight d7, not a fork, sorry, another discovered attack here on the king and the rook. Now I take the rook, and as we finish our development here, bring the knight, the bishop, and the rook into the party here. He is down a queen for a lone horse, which is nowhere near enough. So I go bishop c4, line up the diagonals here, all kinds of big threats towards the black king, and the game will end very soon. Let's go queen to f6, attack the pawn here. Next move is going to be knight g5 to further pressure the pawn. Go here, more pressure on the pawn here. Black is in a world of trouble. Goes rook f8. Now I'm not even going to take this free horse, which of course a normal player should do. I'm instead going to play rook d1 because one thing we try to do with our content is we want a meme, of course, in honor of Levi Roseman, that famous YouTuber. So I'm looking to sack the rook to remove a defender of the pawn. Removing the defender, another one of the basic 31 basic tactics that you need to learn in the game of chess. Goes knight 6. Now I'm going to create the kebab here. We put the rook on the 7th rank. More pressure on this weak pawn on f7, and here everything is very Gucci. I'll probably eat a piece of my banana bread while I'm waiting too. Let's take. Now I'm attacking it too many times. We take and we mate with the queen and the rook. We get e4. Do my own video with the 31 basic tactics. I could. Let's play a Siciliano. Siciliano, very good opening. Those of you guys who've been to Sicily, you know Sicily very famous for their sweets like cannoli specifically. So we're gonna try to play a Siciliano. Goes knight f3. Now I'm gonna play the dragon or the accelerated dragon variation. This is actually a system I think that's very good at the beginner level because again, very basic and easy development. Am I eating biryani? No, that's a banana bread cake that I that my wife made last night. Now I developed the horse to try and stop white from pushing d4. And here are the two options. Now, normally if you get the open Siciliano where white plays d4, more often than not when you play d4 takes, this knight goes to f6. But here I have the choice. I can either play d6 and knight f6 or e6. Now, to follow the general trends, I'm going to play d6 here because you almost always play d6 and g6 and then bring the knight out. I don't want e5 here, which is why I push the pawn first. Let's castle. I could play h6. Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be a fun thing to do. Sell some banana bread. I mean, I incorporated, start a new business. I'm always about expanding. I'm gonna play here to tickle the bishop and ask him what he's doing immediately. So I take with the bishop. Now this is at the top level. This is very good for blacks. I have the two B's. At the lower levels, don't worry about it. But the main point I want to illustrate is that this bishop is now unopposed on all the diagonals, so it's an extremely strong wooden shield. Now I'm gonna go rook to b8, try to play b5 b4 and line up everything on this classic diagonal for the dragon bishop. Let's go here, try to open the file, use the diagonal and win the game. You would sell so much, but it just would be wearing a baker's hat 24/7. But you guys, this is America. I don't know if y'all know this, but here in America, it's all about having the next great business idea. See, all I need to do, you guys, I can tell you exactly how it works. So basically, she cooks like probably 200 cakes. We sell them out, and then I go on Shark Tank and I tell Mark Cuban, like, look, I need this money because obviously I need manufacturing space. I need to be able to bake more cakes. And then I get, you know, and then like Mark Cuban gives me like $500,000 for like 30% of the business, and then all's the Gucci. And then I can retire from streaming and go into a new area of business. Okay, so I play bishop g7 back. Now the reason I retreated the bishop here is basically to stop white from playing knight d5 and attacking the bishop. Now I'm going to keep going. I'm going to launch a5 b4. I could play b4 right away, but what I'm trying to do is I want to recapture to create the classic connect 5. So when he takes, I recapture with this juicer and we get the legendary connect 5. 1 2 3 4 5. So we get c3. And here I'm gonna go queen to a5, pressure both diagonals here. I also create the classic 90-degree right triangle. He takes and now he loses the horse. He's down a horse here, and when you're missing a horse, generally that doesn't portend well for the future battle. Let's take the pawn on c5. We get rook c1. Now I'm going to go bishop g4. What I want to aim for is I want to trade down some materials here. Now having the bishop pair not super important, so I'm happy to trade down. Now my opponent's move not quite the best because he hangs the rook, and with it he hangs the game. But still, my goal is to trade the bishop and then create the bastion with the knight on d4 to hit everything. Create maybe a royal fork, maybe the family fork, all kinds of forks going on. Goes knight e1. Let's play knight to d4 here. And now I'm up a tower and a bishop here. Key is just exchange the pieces. I'll take, rook and queen guard each other. I hit the queen and the knight. Connect 5s aren't always good, but generally they are. Get rook c1, good move, by the way. Now if I were trying to be fancy, I'd sack the queen, but at the beginner level, the most important thing, make even trades here. I have an extra rook and an extra bishop. I want to trade down everything. I want to get all the forces off the board, because at the end of the day, when I have the extra tower or I've got the extra horse, you know, a horse can help me win the game. So the horse can gallop and go a long distance very quickly. Let's go rook b8, use the open file here, create the kebab on the second rank, and end the game very soon. Go rook b2, pressure on the second rank. Now I could take, but I'm not going to be fancy here. We're just going to get the horses off the board. I'm going to play this in a very simplistic manner. Let's just take, And now I've got an extra rook, extra bishop here. I'm even going to sack the rook for the bishop, because here with 2 extra bishops, white can only push the p. Now at the beginner level, sometimes it's hard to watch the whole board. So what I'm going to do here is make it very simple, where my opponent can only push the pawns, and it's very easy to track these 5 files, and with white only able to move pawns. There's no horse that's jumping over the board, or a bishop from a long diagonal. There's none of this weird business going on, so I just have to pay attention to the pawns. So I'll take, I'm going to go f5 to lock the pawn, so now white can't even push the p further. Let's lock it all up, and now I'm just going to slowly bring my king all the way over. He stops me, so I'll check him. I have to be a little bit careful not to create a stalemate here, by the way. So let's go here. No stalemate, because now I can push the p as well. Let's go here. I'm gonna go here and just mate him very elegantly. I'm gonna go here, king c3, and then bishop c5 checkmate. He's gonna get a queen, but I checkmate the king on the rim, and that's GG. Now at the beginner level, you don't want to allow this kind of counterplay, so you would just take the pawn, but I'm just showing off a little bit here. All right, you guys, so we're playing a classic accelerated dragon once again. My opponent plays c3, which is a solid choice. Now I'm going to go bishop g7. After d4, we'll trade. White temporarily gets a big white center, but now I go d5, and I try to use the b's. Let's go here, and knight 6, try and pressure the pawns immediately in the center of the board. Let's develop more pressure in the center. I might want to go f6 to open up this diagonal as well. A little bit unorthodox at beginner level to play like this, but still. Let's go e6 here. I can't put the knight here, so I want to put the knight on e7. Normally you'd want to go here, but the pawn stops it, so now I have to look to develop to e7 to reinforce the horse on the c6 square. Did my wife cook my food? Yes, she did. I know you guys know this, but going out and eating is pretty unhealthy. It's much better to go and buy your stuff locally at the supermarket and cook than eating out every night. I'm not I mean, a lot of the big streamers that go and order DoorDash all the time, I don't really know how they do it, frankly. But okay, so I'm gonna trade here, and the reason I'm gonna trade is because when he takes back, if he takes with a pawn, his pawns are really bad here. I go knight f5, and if he had taken with the queen, I would have gone check back and then c5 to release the pawn and create a lot of pressure on the diagonal. I'll show it after the game as well. McDonald's is so healthy though. Yeah, I mean, didn't you guys see that post on Twitter yesterday? I mean, like, man, RFK, that dude's all about health, and then you see him eating McDonald's. It's like, wait a second, what's going on? The guy's full of Bologna. Let's go knight f5 and attack the pawn d4. Did I buy Domino's pizza stock? We want to talk mostly about chess state. No, I did not. I believe is Warren bought some, right? Warren Buffett. I think Berkshire picked it up, if I'm not mistaken. By the way, SMCI going bigly green today. That was a huge buy by me on Friday afternoon, right before the close. You got bishop c3. I'm going to castle and play f6 to open up the diagonal here. Try to attack in the center of the board. I believe Warren bought Domino's, but yeah. Okay, we got f4. Now I'm going to trade the pawns. Now there's an open file here. I can take the pawn. White's piece is a little bit out of play, by the way, here. So I'm up a juicer, queen guards the horse. I've got an open file. It's very, very hard for white to play. So let's tickle the king. Let's go knight g2 check. Warren bought, and then the stock moon. Hey, I wish I were Warren Buffett. I wish I could literally buy any stock, and if it comes out the next day, you know it's going up 5%. Like, it's great. Now I forked him with knight e3. There was also a relative pin as well, and now we take the queen, and it's winning. go here, guard the pawn. Now the main thing is just to develop the pieces, bring the rooks in, and it'll be over soon. Okay, let's go rook f4, go for the double or potentially a triple stack on the only open file here. He's trying to win the juicer, so I'm just going to play h5, just guard the pawns, queen f7, rook f8. Should be winning. Okay, let's go here, double stack it on the lane. Now I'm going to go here for the legendary triple stack. I may sack, I might just go rook f3 as well, just to exchange pieces off the board. Let's go check, exchange more pieces. The more pieces that come off the board, the happier I am. Here I actually win the game because the rook comes off the board, and now it's just a matter of finishing up. So let's go check, tickle the king. Go check, tickle the king. Now I'm just going to start pushing my p up the board, and if he goes over to stop me, I get a lolly mate with queen g2. Okay, so I played e4. Let's do one more game with this setup that I mentioned before, where I want to go e4 d4, because I think this is also a very attractive setup as a beginner, because even if your queen gets attacked right away, you dodge a lot of checkmates. Like there's none of these throbbing mates. You don't get the bishop c5, queen f6, and you just want to go 1 2 3, finish your development, and then worry about the king side. But it's very simple: 1 2 3, 1 2 3, GG. Okay, I go here, I hit the juicers, we create the classic 90-degree right triangle in this position. Now he blunders, I hit him with knight d5, I'm forking the queen and the pawn. I also have a fork of the king and the rook here as well, so it's very, very tough to play. Very tough. Let's just take. Now he's just down a piece here, and I should be winning. No, it's all good. All right, we get king d8. I'm gonna play knight to f3 and start developing. Sorry guys, we're taking a quick look at the marks. I haven't looked yet. Yeah, so I made a good play. I should have gone naked though on Friday. I did a buy right on SMCI. I bought it at like 1840 and I sold 20s for January for $5, and stock is up 20%. It was up 18% after hours on Friday, but today it's opened up 20, so pretty good play by me. We get knight f6 here. I'm gonna go knight g5. I'm gonna try to fork with these knights here, go for more memes, and win the game pretty quickly. How do you register to play? You need to be a member of the fan club. So back to the chess. See what he does. Google something. I don't want to Google anything. Googling is a very dangerous thing to do. What's the big four? I don't know what the big four is. There was a chess.com video. I'm gonna do a video at some point. I'm gonna make a video on the 31 though, on the 31 basic tactics. Let's go here, develop more pressure. Knight is still hitting everything. This is just a great position for me. Takes. I'm just gonna take. So we get h6 here. Let's see. So here I can play knight to h7. I can also just move my knight, but I'm just gonna take. Again, I have an extra bishop here, or an extra priest. So with an extra priest in tow, 2 priests versus 1, I should just trade down again. Let's just develop. Let's use the diagonals, classic X formation in the middle of the board in honor of XQC. Also some wooden shields. Let's go check. I have bishop e6 with the pin in play. If he moves the king, he actually is close to getting checkmated. Let's go here, hit the bishop. Heard you were a wild one. Let's take. Here comes the rook with the kebab. Now I've got the 2 bishops that are helping each other. Let's go rook d1 and go for a double stack on the 7th rank. You need to be a member of the fan club to play. I think this is actually a pretty good opening. I wasn't even thinking about it originally, because because I don't think I've ever recommended this d4, but I think it's a very solid opening approach, like a very solid approach that gets you out of the opening. I'm gonna go check. This is what we call a skewer or a double attack or something like that. This is one of the big four, of course. And now I'm gonna mate with the 2 bishops. Okay, let's keep going. One more with this e4 d4. Okay, plays e4 c6. Will I play e4 d4 tomorrow? What, Entitled Tuesday? You know who did play it against me was Daniil Dubov, but we get a caro-kann. Now against the caro-kann with white, what would I recommend? I've recommended I think the exchange is probably this bishop d3 c3 because it's very simple to play. You get the same setup, classic connect 4 immediately, bishop on the diagonal here. You develop this bishop. Both the bishops are very free immediately to develop. And if black were to play queen c7 or queen d6 to stop the natural development, then you go knight e2 to support bishop f4. Let's just develop and castle the king. Alien gambit is possible. Let's just castle here. Let's go knight bd2 and play rook e1. Play h3 here. I guess I'll go knight e5. Here comes the closed dragon. No such opening. Danny recommends a fantasy. Fantasy is fine too. I mean, all the stuff is playable. Now I'm going to reinforce the horse, reinforce everything up here. Also, you'll notice this bishop is staring at a closed diagonal because again, I've got the classic connect 5. Let's take. I'm going to take with the rook. Still a connect 5, but most importantly, he's missing a fianchettoed bishop. So now we bring the rook to the center. We're going to go h4, h5 here, and it's just a beautiful position. Bishop is very passive, locked in by the pawn walls, and the rook also out of play. So let's go rook e1, stack it up in the middle. I might go rook e3 to start lifting my rooks, bruh. Very, very pleasant position. Here come the rooks. So much pressure towards the black king here. So much pressure. He's in all kinds of trouble here. Goes h5. Now I'm going to take the juicer because of the pin. Technically this might be a mistake, but he's not going to see it. Good position. He finds it. Wow. 400. Said nobody ever. Okay, so now the point here is I've got a pin, but when I take the priest I lose the tower because there's no longer a pin. That being said, his king is kind of naked here on g7. So I think with my lifted rook here, he's in some trouble. Who would win, you or Magnus Carlsen? I played Magnus. On average, he's going to win more often than I am. I mean, every so often I'll win a game, but I mean, he probably wins by a 2.5 to 1 margin. I mean, probably out of every 3 games, it's likely that I'll win 1 and he'll win 2 along those lines, or like draw 2 and he wins 1. King h6 is a move here. Yeah, this guy's playing a lot better than 400, by the way. I'm going to take and go rook f3 to attack here. Yeah, I mean, he's not 400. And checkmate. Next game. No, it's not about me not being 500. It's more that what was I gonna say? It's more that at this level, the beginner level, they're not gonna play those moves. That's what makes it a little bit odd. I'm 1000. Yes, you can. I played at 1200. Let's keep going with our accelerated drag, and then we'll move on to another beginner opening that I recommend. Okay, we go here. We develop our bishop. Let's play knight c6, develop the bishop and the knight. Now I develop this knight as well. This I think is one of the better openings at beginner level. Definitely one of the better openings. Castle here. He plays bishop c4. Now this is kind of transposing back into a regular drag, but this guy's also 2100, so he knows his theory. So I'm gonna go d6 here. I'm gonna trade the horses and play bishop e6 here. This is a line that I played all the way back, I think in 2012 maybe against Anish Giri, maybe a little bit, maybe it was 2014. But I played this dragon against Anish as a surprise, and I played bishop e6, and the game unsurprisingly would end in a draw very quickly. Now I want to go rook fc8, b5, b4, attack on the queen side. He decides the castle king side. I'm still going to go rook f8. The main reason I go with this rook is down the road, if white tries to play knight d5 and win the pawn, the king slides over. Let's trade. Bishop e6 I played against Anish Giri, so it's battle tested even at the top level, and you can definitely play it. Am I sharing free ideas of the opening? Yes. What do you mean by that? Let's go rook c4, hit the bishop. What do you mean by sharing free ideas? Oh, you can't see the standings? Here are the standings. It's not about the standings or the results, you guys. It's all about the improvement. I was saying this, you know, I recently I saw Gary in New York City last week. We were just chilling for a bit, and we're talking about how like it's much more about like there's too much of an obsession with the actual result versus the improvement. It's kind of a real thing, and it's like the improvement, like actually understanding things is more important than just like winning every game. I mean Gary chess, Gary Kimovich chess, also known as the creator of the great game. Yeah, Gary chess. No, it's always a pleasure to see Gary. Always a pleasure. One of the great legends of the game. I've never done a marathon, you guys. The main reason I've never done a marathon is because you actually have to train for a marathon. I've done half marathons with like no training at all, by the way. But a marathon, you have to do serious training. You can't just show up and run it. So like it just doesn't really interest me. I'm gonna go knight d5 here. Now there's big pressure on this diagonal, by the way. There's pressure on this diagonal. It's also a right triangle as well. All kinds of problems for white here. Knight d7 was also fine too, but knight d5 is more flashy. Maybe not as good objectively, by the way. Knight d7 actually probably a better move here if he sees the right move. Half marathon is like 13.1, I believe. 13. Yeah, because it's 26.2, so it's 13.1 for a half marathon. Yeah, my son just ran his first marathon at Harvard about a month ago. He hasn't gone running since. Not surprising. Yeah, my professor said in class that Boncloud is a BS opening. I argued, you know, if you tell me who your professor is, I can write him a note, because I mean that's just wrong. Rook a d1 was the better move here, because after queen d3 I'm still just going to double stack, and there's maximum pressure on this diagonal and file as well. Just so much pressure here for white to contend with. Bishop c3, a good move. Now here we're gonna have some fun. I'm gonna do something I normally wouldn't do. Definitely not a beginner concept. I'm gonna sack the rook by playing rook takes bishop, and then I'm gonna take, and I'm gonna get this nice big black center here with a bishop on top of it with a wooden shield, and I'm probably gonna win the game. Will I actually write him, please? if my mods find a way for you to send me a DM that doesn't actually like leak anything, it's possible. Yeah, rook b1's a good move, actually a very good move. I'm gonna go b6, avoid hanging a pawn. If there's a way to do it without like literally writing his name or something in chat, then I might actually do it. So it would be pretty funny. Like if you write a DM to like one of my mods, I might actually do it. Yeah, write it to like Creamsicle, and I'll write him a message. Assuming you're not trolling, you're being real. Assuming you're being real, I'll actually write an email, and I'll try to be proper. For the first time in 20 years, I'll try to like write like dear so and so, like, and not just like a two sentence word. Let's take here. Now I've got the bishop and the two pawns for the rook. How can we write to Hikaru without leaking something? You can write to my mods can pass along. Oh, that's a terrible move. He hangs the rook, or maybe it was a sack. Regardless, even if he moves the rook here, I just go back, and long-term black's just better because I've got this nice clump in the center. There are weak pawns everywhere. Like I can go here and rook a4. This is another one of the big four, which is you want to play against these weak pawns, these weak split pawns. It's like bowling. The pawns are split. It's like the 9 and the 7 pin. You think about pawns like you think about bowling pins, and if the pawns get split up, it's always good for you. Go to the next game. I'm being real. We're studying chess engines these days. That's actually an interesting topic. Okay, I played this e4 d4. Let's try to get one more game with e4. One last one for the road. He plays knight f6. Yeah, but split pawns aren't good in chess either, so it's the same thing. Now he goes knight f6. I'm just going to take, and following the same trend lines, we're going to go bishop c4 here with the idea of queen d5. Just quick development. Queen h4 should be a mistake, but why? I guess I go here to hit the pawn with the queen and the bishop, and I also guard the pawn as well. I think I can take. Good attempt to try and create a classic discovered attack on the queen. Unfortunately here I can just assault the bishop by taking it, and now my opponent's king is weak. I take and everything is collapsing immediately. There should be a forced checkmate here. Maybe check, no squares, and this should be checkmate. Tough loss. Next game. Okay, so I'm done with the e4 d4s. We'll move on to other basic openings in the next white game. He tried, he did, yeah. Okay, d4. Now against d4 with black, I mean, in general, I think the queen's gambit client setups with d5, e6 are very stable mostly. So I probably would recommend these setups because it's very easy to play. White can try to trade on d5 and get a minority attack on the queen side, but trying to attack the trying to create a minority attack is not easy to execute at the lower levels. Let's play a6 and takes. Scotch again, possible. Would you prefer balding or going with white hair? Let's go here. I play a6. I'm looking to trade and go b5 c5 here. Can I play the caro-kann with black? Definitely possible. Let's take and go b5 c5 bishop b7. I'm gonna take with the bishop. The reason is now I can go b5 c5 and I want to use this diagonal for the bishop. This bishop is well placed. He takes, I'll take, but in the long run this bishop is perfectly placed here, perfectly placed on the diagonal. And now we have the double diagonals for the two b's. Also here to hit the pawn and the rook. This is what we know, what we call the relative fork. Actually no, let's go for a relative pin with rook c8 here, and then knight b2 maybe next move. Can I play the England gambit? I could. Thank you so much to Balaki for the host with 35 viewers. Thank you so much to Balaki. Those of you guys who are coming over from Balaki stream, we're here playing this very ancient game called chess. It is the original esport, the original game from 2000-ish years ago, and even now in 2024 it's still pretty common. So those of you guys who are familiar with chess, it's a great game. Make sure to try it when you have the chance. Now he plays rook d1. I'm going to take, host is the same as array, but they call it a host here on Kick. I'm going to take this pawn, and now I remove the defender of the horse. So I take, and now if he takes my horse, I win his horse. So it's a trade, but at the end of the day I now have an extra pawn. I can't understand how some chess players play just one opening, try new ones are so fun, because they're try-harding. I mean, they're try-harding. It's like if you play League of Legends, or you play StarCraft, which is one of the games that I love. Like in chess I'm very creative, but when I play StarCraft I'm not creative. I don't try to have variety by playing all three races. I mean, I'm always playing Terran, because I'm trying to get to a good level with that one race first. And in chess is the same way. You try to get to a certain level with one opening, and then once you have that understanding, then you start feeling like you can experiment. Okay, I'm gonna play rook c8. He's gonna have to take my horse, and I win his horse here. I mean, I played StarCraft back in the day. I never really got into StarCraft 2. I don't know why. It wasn't for me. I can't really even give a good explanation, but StarCraft 2 just never really interested me. I can take the pawn. There's no ice skater here because I'm covering the back rank checkmate idea with the bishop. So now I have two extra pawns over here. Zerg are the best. Everyone knows it. I mean, I guess. But I'm a human, so how could I ever like Zerg? StarCraft 2 Protoss Air is OP. Okay, now I'm gonna trade the bishop for the horse because because I'm still covering the checkmate, but now I have the 2 juicers. I'm just gonna start pushing my P. I might create the classic Luft with G6 or H6 to create space for the king, but I'm still stopping him from trying to checkmate me, so I will push the pawns for now. What is an ice gator? Now he's trying to go for the ice gator, so I'm gonna play G6 and move the king up the board here, and it should be good. Ice Skater is also known as a back rank checkmate, but we here on my channel try to pay homage to Felix Longjaw, also known as XQC, one of the originators of the chess boom that happened. I give him a lot of credit collabing with me. He did not have to collab with me when he did in 2020, and a lot of that led to where we are now with chess being so popular. So it's my way of paying, sort of just like paying my respect, paying homage to him. Let's go B3 and B2, keep pushing our P with the pawn and the bishop here. Keep pushing our P. Bishop guards the pawn. I'm gonna go rook A1 next move as well. Let's go here. Rook still, or bishop still guarding the pawn. Pawn guards the rook, and now I'm just gonna push P all the way up the A file here. That's gonna be very messy all over the board. Okay, I take the rook, and now again I take the bishop, and this is just collapsing instantly. Should we try different openings? I mean, I think in general, the beginner level, because of the lack of general awareness, trying to play one opening is actually what you should do. I think you should try to play one opening. I mean, online ratings are different than over the board, as I've learned quite a bit. But what I would say is I think try to stick with one opening up to about, let's just say 1600 online, and then start looking for variety. Okay, I'm gonna play one more with this accelerated dragon because I think it's a great setup at the beginning. I really like it. You bring the knight out, you create pressure. Pretty much your setup is going to be very standard no matter what. Now they could play queen takes d4 as well, but that's a little bit advanced, frankly. And if they do it, you play knight f6 followed by knight c6 to attack the queen right away. So you get bishop e3. Let's develop the horse here. Let's just castrol. Now I'm going to go d5 and strike immediately. What I want to do is I want to open up this diagonal for the dragon bishop as quickly as possible. How is a kid 3 years old and have 1555 elo? Because kids are insane these days. They process information at a rate that is just astounding, frankly. So I'm gonna take, I mean, they just process stuff at a rate that, like, I mean I literally can't understand. So he takes. I'm gonna go here, try to use D's knights in the middle of the board. It's a little bit unusual in terms of the position, but I should be okay. Scotch Gambit, a good opening. I think Scotch Gambit is completely fine, but it's very much about quick tricks. So if you don't know it very well, you can end up in trouble very quickly. Let's trade. So I'm going to go here, develop the bishop. I also want to play rook c8 to play on this open lane. Goes here. I'm just going to trade the bishops, and now I'm going to go queen c7. I don't want to walk into a royal fork or a family fork. So I'm going to dodge the fork, and now I'm going to try to play on the lane with a double stack and maybe a knife on c4 to open up this diagonal as well. I think Scandinavian can be played too. Absolutely. Let's just go here, line up the double stack on the file. So my position's pretty good here. Let's see what we get. I already played at 3 years old. No, I didn't play at 3 years old. No. Knight f3 is a fantastic move, by the way. Fantastic move. I was really hoping to showcase this double stack on the file, but because he finds knight f3, I'm gonna have to go over this knight d3 and take and just use the bishop to showcase how strong this bishop can be on the diagonal. It's not what I want to do, but it's what I'm going to do now. At 3 years old, I don't know what I was doing. I don't even remember what I was doing at 3 years old. At 3 years old, I don't know what I was doing. Let's check. Let's develop the rook. Maybe a double stack this way. Maybe play on the diagonal as well. Okay, blocks. I'm not going to trade the queens. I could trade and go bishop h6 to win material, but I want to play for themes here to showcase how you play the dragon. What I want to angle for. Oh. Threatening the maiden, by the way, with a double stack. Yeah, I don't know what I was doing at 3 years old. I don't actually remember. I don't remember anything before I was like I feel like I mean I don't remember anything before I was like 5 years old. No, at 3 years old, that's right when I came to the US. That's when I was in the Mojave Desert in California. I'm gonna go b5 b4, try to open up the lanes and showcase the power of this bishop. Just open up the lanes. Why did I eat your dog? I didn't eat your dog. I didn't eat your dog. I'm not eating the dogs and the cats. I'm not doing any of that. You might, I mean, also this is my stream. It's not Hassan Abi's stream. Let's play b4. Trying to attack on this file. Goes king c2. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play queen a5 to attack the pawn. There's all kinds of pressure. Also notice this bishop from long distance. It's sniping everything on this diagonal. So this position is very close to loss for white already. This is not a Hassan stream. I'm out of here. Sorry, you guys. Sorry. Yeah, there's a lot I could say there, and I'm just gonna stop saying it. There's a lot I could say, and I'm not gonna say it. Let's go here. Don't want to be controversial right now. Okay, so I can play a5 here. A lot of pressure on the c file, a lot of pressure on the diagonals here. My opponent's king is very weak, and this bishop is just great from distance. It's just spying everything, and it's unopposed as well. Should be very good. By the way, I also have some other food here. Let me down. Give me a second. Thoughts on Fabiano versus Magnus 960? No real thoughts. Let's take rook and bishop. I will be covering it, by the way. I expect Magnus to dominate. I don't think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's only 2 games, right? So let's check. Let's take the horse and win the game very soon. Just take the horse, and I should be winning. Yes, someone said if I take the pawn on a2 here, there would be rook to a1 trapping my queen in the corner pocket. Rook a1 would trap it, yes. So okay, takes. I'm going to take the pawn, and now you're going to see what we call the classic double A battery checkmate. I take, and now the double A battery, also known as a battery on this lane, will checkmate here. You are far from tournaments? Who, me? I don't know what you mean. Do you mean me? I don't know what you mean. They should not have done it before the world championship match. I know why they're doing it, because originally they approached me about the match, and I mean I don't want to get into drama, but like it is what it is. I'm gonna play d5 e6 again. But I mean basically, and I'll say this again for people, there are a couple of big problems fundamentally with professional chess. I'm gonna go c5 and knight c6 here. Which is, you know, there are quite a few problems with professional chess, which is that because chess is such a poor game or poor sport, everybody's always hoping for something to pop up. Everyone's always hoping for something to pop up. And I mean the idea of Fischer random itself, like I like playing Fischer random, but in no way, shape, or form is it going to replace classical chess with a pieces set up. I mean, what makes chess so rich and why people enjoy it at all levels is because it's a game with great players. Historically, you have these great champions. You've got Gary Chess, Bobby Fischer, you've got Jose Raul Capablanca, you have Paul Blanket, you've got Paul Morphy, you've got all these great players. You've got all these great players, right? You've got these great players historically, like think about the Ruy Lopez, for example, a Spanish opening. Like that opening was literally invented in like 1565, whatever it was, like 1562. I don't know the exact year. Literally invented. I'm gonna go c4 here to attack the queen. Literally invented by a Spanish priest in like a monastery, like 500 plus years ago. Like, I mean, that's just insane, isn't it? I mean, not 500, a little under 500, but still, you get the point. Like, and that's just so historically like amazing to think about that, you know, chess has been around that long. You have these openings invented by people, like very great stories, a lot of history around them. And so when you have the great players, you got all these very fascinating openings. You've got like the Sicilian Dragon, for example. You got the Frankenstein Dracula. You got the King's Gambit, the Queen's Gambit. All these really romantic and creative names of openings, or the Beefeater opening, the Pterodactyl, all these different things. Like, you know, that's what really gives the flavor to chess. And that's what I always try to say to people is that, you know, why do you play chess? And that's what gives chess an edge over, say, like a game like Settlers of Catan, for example. So like, you know, if I'm out there at the store, like, why is chess in popular culture? Why does someone take up chess versus another game? It's because of the richness of the history. And so like when you look at Fischer random, the argument for why Fischer random could become something is specifically a problem that relates only to the top player. Sorry if I'm not explaining the moves, by the way, but I think this is important. So I'm gonna go I'll play N peasant and then g5 h4 here, g5 h5. But what I was starting to say is that, so like when you look at Fischer random, the reason Fischer random has become kind of popular at the top levels is because there are people who argue that chess is too drawish. There are too many draws between top players, so you need something to change. But the problem with that notion is that if you want chess to be bigger to a bigger audience, like the casual fan, that is not how you're going to do it, because rearranging the pieces on the back row is not going to make them actually understand it better. All you're going to end up doing is confusing them even more. They'll be like, wait, what's going on? The pieces aren't on the right squares. Where's a Ruy Lopez opening? Where's all this stuff? So you're going to end up confusing everybody when you do that, is what I would say. So in my opinion, it's not the future, it's a problem. Like too many draws in chess, sure, that happens at the top level. Is that a problem? I mean, you blame the players. It's not a problem inherent to the game, because if you look at Arjun Erigaisi, for example, he's playing every opening under the sun. He's winning games left and right. He's playing very creative chess, and so I don't think that it's actually an issue. I don't think it's an issue at all. It's a top player problem that doesn't exist at any other level, and if you're trying to popularize chess, that's not how you're going to do it. So I fundamentally don't oh, there's a free rook, by the way. I fundamentally sorry, I lost my train of thought. So I fundamentally don't think it's the future. And I think the younger generation, they're not going to be boring and play. They're not going to be as boring and play like the Berlin every game. And if the top players are very creative, I see no reason why Fischer random will ever take over. I don't think it's the future of chess, actually. Let's take the pawn here, hit the knight. Of course, we could be coming at it from different angles too. I mean, but I would argue right now, I don't think there's any real problem with chess. That's actually my argument currently, is that there's no big problem with chess at all. The reason you have draws is because the players are too lazy to like actually study and be creative. Okay, now I would love to castle. I'm worried about my king, so I'm just going to go here. If he castles, I win the horse on d2. Oh, anyway. All right, we get queen b3. Now I am ahead, right? So I can trade, because I've got a rook for a bishop here, and with this open file, it's pretty good. So anyway, yeah. So that's just a little bit I want to say about Fischer random. Is, I mean, I think the whole concept of trying to, if you think that it's going to be popular to people who are very casual fans, it's not going to be. I don't agree at all. And that's what they're trying to market as. They're trying to market it as something that will be commercially successful and people will want to watch. I don't for a second believe in that at all. I don't. I mean, and I said as someone who loves playing Fischer random, but I don't believe it at all. Okay, I'm gonna go rook c2, create the kebab on the second rank, and I think I'm gonna win the game. I mean, if you're looking at it solely from the perspective of top players, like maybe it's more interesting. But the only way you can ever monetize chess is if you get the fans to really want to watch and be excited, and I don't believe that it will be. I just don't believe that that's going to happen. So I think if you're a lower rated amateur player, you're going to be more confused. You're going to be very, very confused. You're going to be very, very confused, more than you already are, because chess is a very tough game to master to begin with. So all it's going to do is it's just going to, like, you're going to become more confused. That's all that's going to happen. I mean, if you're a 1000 rated player, which is the majority, I mean 1000 or lower, that's the majority of chess players out there, that is the biggest market, you're only going to be more confused by it. You're going to be more confused by Fischer random than by, you're already confused enough by regular chess. If we get b4, I'll just take the bishop here. I can take or play rook c2 or rook c8. Should be winning soon. Just trade the rooks. Good commentary is not going to change it, you guys. Good commentary is not going to change for Fischer random, at least. Sha-la-la-la. Okay, let's just go rook c2 to attack the horse here, and knight c4. Okay, flags. Let's go next game. That game I didn't really explain much. Okay, we're playing Carl Magnuson. Now we've played e4 a lot, so let's play some d4 openings now. Now London I've explained a lot over time. I think I'm gonna play Queen's Gambit Decline today with the white pieces. Go knight c3. If takes, there's always the e4 to attack pawn, and there's no b5. Let's just go bishop g5 followed by e3. Whoa, the goat. Exactly. I'm gonna play e3. Now the bishop is outside the chain. See, no bishop on c1, so I've created the chain, but the bishop is outside, so all kinds of scope here. And now this bishop guards the pawn, so now I have the two b's. High rate chess are boring because you don't understand anything. That actually, you know what, I know you're making a joke, but that's actually part of my big argument, which is that like the reason that I think a lot of people watch me is not because of the chess, it's because I'm entertaining. And that's why whenever you talk about making chess bigger or more popular to the greater audience, I will always argue that it has to be more about the entertainment than the actual chess itself. When you start thinking that the chess itself is like good enough, it's not. It's about the personalities, it's about the entertainment factor, it's about people enjoying it. It's not because they understand chess at a tremendous level. I mean, that's actually what that's what a lot of people, that's what everybody, I'm just gonna say it, that's what everybody misses, you know, at organizations like FIDE or otherwise, or all the top players. That's what they continue to miss, is they think the problem is a problem with the actual, like, the games are too long, too many draws. They think it's a problem with the game. They think it's a problem with like the actual like fundamentals of the game. That's not the problem. The problem is that chess is inherently boring. And so you need the personalities. You need to make it exciting for people to watch, and that you're not going to ever be able to do that purely from the chess perspective. I'm going to take here. You can't take back because of the pin, and now I'm winning the game. I didn't really explain this very well. I'll explain the next one better. Let's take the knight. I mean, it's why, yeah, someone says a Gabin tour, it's why Levy and a Gabin tour are popular. I mean, they're not like great chess players, but that's not the point. The point is that they're very good at explaining things in a way that people enjoy, and people just want to watch it for the entertainment. So I'm going to play knight d2, e4, build a big white center here, and I'm doing pretty well. Like, that's just the reality. Okay, I go here, I stop the checkmate, I hit the queen as well on the diagonal. Will I stream the World Championship? Unclear. I'll probably stream the first game for sure. After that, we'll see. Levy's I'm not saying Levy's not a great chess player objectively, you guys. What I'm saying is that Levy's not like an elite chess player. That was my point. He's not an elite chess player. I'm gonna play a3, attack the knight, and I'm gonna go rook e1, guard the pawn. Maybe I'll push forward. So yeah, like that's what's missed, is that the problem is that it has to be about entertainment and the personalities, not about like changing the game, or there's something with the game itself that's the reason people don't watch. But people within chess, the big problem is that they think chess is amazing as it is. It's great, it's fantastic, without actually, you know, living in reality. And that's kind of the problem. That is actually the big problem. Okay, so I've got a good position here. I'm probably gonna play I'm gonna go d5, c4, and then e5. I'm gonna build this nice big white center, and I've got a really nice position. We as fans need to hear Super Gems and Chess talking about life, not only chess. Yeah, but you know what I would say to that is, like, look, to be a really top chess player, to be one of the top chess players, you have to spend so many hours and just studying chess that you're going to be deficient in other areas. Play e5, build our big white center here. I'm going to go knight e4, more oxygen. Now the horse hits the pawn. I'm going to push p. This pawn is still weak. The knight's dominated here. No squares to go to. Just take the juicer, attack the queen. Hikaru, would you consider signing up for Blue Sky? I did create a Blue Sky account actually yesterday or the day before, but I just did it out of curiosity. We get queen f7. I'm going to play e6 here. Here comes the p. I'm pushing my p up the middle of the board here. Not enough users on the site. A little bit too dead. Okay, I'm gonna go e7, attack the rook again. I'm doing very, very well here. You are really one of a kind, streaming long hours instead of studying and still top dog. I do what I can. I'm gonna take the rook here, and I'm gonna take the bishop here as well. Why is this not applicable as sportsmen? You mean, what do you mean by that? I'm gonna go d7 here. Knight and queen guard each other. Knight's under attack. Okay, I just take, so my knight guards my queen here, and now I'm way up in material. Uh-oh, there's a Botez gambit. Most super GMs can't talk in interviews. They don't know anything to talk about, just chess. I mean, like I said, if you spend your whole life playing chess, you're going to have deficiencies elsewhere. That's how it should be. Go check and mate. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, let's play d4 again. d4, c4, and knight c3. Go knight c3 here. Why do people play the Botez gambit if it's terrible? It's a meme that became kind of a thing. Plays bishop g7. So this is what we call the king's Indian defense with knight f6 and bishop g7. I would not argue to play this at beginner level because white gets this massive pawn center. And actually what Levi played the other day, this 4 pawns attack, is very, very aggressive and very hard to deal with. Very hard to deal with. Because there's this great wall of China on the 4th rank, and then you've also developed the knights, and white just has so much more space in the middle of the board. It's very hard to play. Would you agree that I deserve some credit for supporting you, which has helped you do well in recent years? I mean, I think all the people who've watched online have played a role, so it's not about any one person. But yes, I mean, obviously at the end of the day, you guys, the fans who watch my stream day in and day out, you've made a success. So I do appreciate it. Okay, now I'm gonna move my bishop. He's preparing to play e6 and play on the file, so I'm gonna go here so I can take and everything's guarded. He's gonna go here. I'm gonna castle on the knight and bishop guard this pawn when I recapture. So I'm gonna take with a c pawn here, and now you see why I put the bishop here, because now both pieces guard the critical pawns. Who? Me? Who's me? Who me? Who? I don't know. Goes knight bd7. I'm gonna move my king because I'm worried about something on a diagonal potentially. I don't know. Maybe not the best move, but it's a move. It goes knight b6. Okay, I'm gonna kick the horse back. Now he has to go back. Now the bishop is struggling to develop. You see, he's gonna have to go back. See, there's no good squares available, so he has to go back. But then his bishop is really passive, and this is why I don't like these openings in general, because it's very hard. White has this great center, and it's very hard to deal with at a beginner level. Very, very hard to deal with. I'll take. He finds b6 though, which is a good move. I'm gonna go h3 to stop him from playing bishop g4 to pin the tail on the donkey. Okay, now I'm gonna go f5 and bishop g5, and I'm gonna get ready to attack him on the king side. Give a hot take. I don't have any hot takes for today. Nope, no hot takes. Okay, I'm just gonna go here. I'm gonna ignore this pawn altogether. I'm not worried about it. I'm just gonna keep getting aggressive here. He goes knight e5. Okay, let's see. What do I want to do? Knight e5 is actually a pretty good move. I'm gonna go here to tickle the rook on the diagonal because there's a lot of pressure. I mean, we might get a new relative pin if rook e7. I don't recommend the Grunfeld or the King's Indian for black. I think they're impossible openings to play below master level. I don't recommend either one. Okay, so he goes there, so I can play this. I'm just gonna take. There's big pressure on the diagonal here. Big pressure. I could obviously take if I want to, but I don't want to. So I'm gonna go. Wait, no, that's no good. What's a thematic move? I'm gonna play here. Try to take advantage of this pin, create some oxygen for the horse. Probably not very good, but take. Actually, it's very good because now I get queen d5 and we get the this is the doubled attack where I win the knight on c6. Do I like Twitter X from what standpoint? I don't know what your question is. Just give me like a context. Okay, now I'm gonna go e5. I've got this nice file. I have the pressure. This is the cross pin. Yeah, this is a cross pin, you guys. Here's the cross pin, and now I take. I win because I get the classic cross pin. There we go. It's a cross pin and a regular pin all in one. Go check, and now we take. I have a question. Do you intend to do collab streams in the near future? I mean, I probably will. Let's go here, open up the lane so I can trade. Yeah. New achievement unlocked. I'm at 2230 who played the King's Indian until recently. The 4 pawn attack is indeed annoying. The 4 pawns attack is very hard to deal with. That's why when Levy played it, I was actually kind of impressed. Go check. I'm going to take the juicer, and the king's going to get mated on g5 here. He takes. Queen covers these 3 squares. Rook covers all the squares on the f file. Rook f4, rook f5, and rook f6 here. So now I go knight e4 and I checkmate the king in one move. What do I think about the ingenious idea of farming ELO to 2750 plus and Blitz to get free airfare and hotel and daily allowance? New York City Rapid and Blitz. I love it when people actually take advantage. Why not? I'm all for it. Now I've already played c5 a lot, so I'm going to play the caro-kann since someone asked me to play this. So I don't know, why not? I'm gonna play d5 here. Let's go bishop f5 and e6. Sometimes it feels really strange that super chance of our time are streaming. Why does that feel strange? I'm gonna trade, go e6 and c5. Very standard stuff here, by the way. Let's go here, knight c6, pressure the center of the board very quickly. Why do you say it's strange? I mean, chess has always been a very poor game. I mean, it's always been very poor. Everybody's always trying to scrape by, and that's also what I don't like about chess. Is so many people complain. Like, I mean, people get angry about Levy or myself. It's like, oh, these streamers are, you know, this, that, or the other thing. And take here, so takes I can take, and I'm winning. Because now the queen and the knight are both under attack. Very poor opening for my opponent. He should have played c3 to create the classic chain of white pawns in the middle. Now he's just going to lose the game. Like, there are all these people who get upset about it, and then it's like, it's just bizarre. Like, you get angry about it, but you're not doing anything to change it. It's just funny. Like, so many GMs have complained about Levy. So many GMs are like jealous and unhappy because, you know, Levy's more successful than they are by a big margin. And it's just like, okay, that's nice and fine, but exactly what are you doing? What are you doing? What were you doing during the pandemic when all of us were online, like, creating content? The answer is you're sitting at home on your you-know-what doing nothing. Let's play knight d5 here. Just gonna move my queen back. Now I have a queen for nothing. I just have a queen and a bishop. So do I have a headset dent? Maybe I do. I don't know. Okay, we got the win. Let's keep going. Next game. What do I want to play? Okay, let's get back to d4 c4. Go e4 again. Here comes the 4 pawns attack. We're gonna go over the classic 4 pawns attack with the D's knights. Very easy to play, by the way. Very easy. Let's just go bishop e2. This is actually very similar to Levy's game against Justice Williams, I think. Okay, but now I'm gonna go e5, build my big white center. E5 probably not correct, by the way, but I'll do it anyway. So anyway, though, as I was saying, yeah, but that's kind of the point. Is like, I don't like it that chess players complain about everything. You know, like, they complain that it's so poor, there should be more money in chess, this, that, or the other thing. Let's take here, and now I've got the diagonal. You know, they just complain about all these things, and my attitude towards it is like, you know, don't complain. You didn't do anything to make it better, so you have no right to complain. Somebody told me that Levy is in the Illuminati in the industry. Let's go e6 here. Levy is the Illuminati. Thank you. This castle. Thank you for that. I mean, quite a few have complained privately. Yes. Let's go bishop d5 and hit the knight here. I don't need to name names, but yeah. But it's just like, I mean, and that's where I get annoyed. Is like, same thing for the Global Chess League, for anybody who's wondering. Like, all these GMs were complaining about the time control. They're like, you know, there's no increment is terrible, the arbiters suck, this, that, or the other thing. And it was the exact same thing. I'm gonna go c5 here, play b4 b5. It's like they're complaining about everything. It's like, well, look, the Global Chess League, they're trying to do something new. They're trying to come up with a creative format that will bring more fans into the game. And the top players are basically like, no, we need to keep everything the same boring way as it is, so that chess is very proper and correct. And that to me is like, it's fine if you want to have that take, but then don't ever complain about chess not being bigger. Don't ever complain about it. Okay, so I played caro-kann. We'll do another caro-kann. He trades. I'll take back. Go here on bishop f5. or g4. Let's go to g4. I mean, both squares are good, both squares are thematic. Actually, let's go to f5. It's a little bit more thematic here. Take and play e6. Go here. I want to develop my knight. I don't know which square I'm going to, but one of these two squares. I'll go to f6 and castles. Am I getting sniped? I am, right? I'm getting a little bit sniped here. Let's just go here. Just go here. I don't know, somewhere. Play a6, attack the knight. Okay, now he gives me the b4 square. One drawback is now he let me get a hook. If the pawn were on a2, he could push it to a3 to kick the horse, but now he's pushed it too far. So now this horse is kind of stuck, and my horse is almost a bastion here. I'm gonna go a5, lock the bastion. Let's go here. Here comes D's knights in the middle of the board. Queen e2, logical. How do I continue to improve my position? It's a big question here. Guess I'll just go here and stack, maybe. It's probably not particularly special, but I'll continue to stack. Okay, we get c3. Let's go here, play e5, create a big black center. I'll go e5 here, just open it up. This week is full pack of streams, a rare sight these days. It's pretty rare for me to stream every day during the week, but I will be streaming every day this week, I believe. Maybe not Sunday, actually. Sunday's the 24th, the day before the World Championship. I might not be streaming on Sunday, but I am streaming pretty much every other day. So, but yeah, anyway, just talking about chess in general for those people who are asking. You know, I mean, I think that's the thing is like when I hear about chess and people, you know, I hear the top players specifically complaining about things. It's just like I don't really have a tolerance for it anymore. I just don't have I don't have a tolerance for it. Okay, f3 is a good move. I'm gonna sack the horse and try to push p in the middle of the board. Could get very exciting here. The whole discussion is about top players complaining about Levy being only an IM and earning all the money they're playing. Well, I mean, yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is. But as I said, that's exactly the point, is that it's like, I mean, if people want to complain about things, like, you know, then do something. I mean, like, or sorry, if people want to complain, then do something to make a change. If you're just going to complain and think like, oh, everything's supposed to happen just because, like, that's not how it works. I'm gonna take the pawn here. I'm still sacking the horse, but now I can trade everything off because the rook on a2 is hanging at the end. So I'm sacking the rook, but I win the rook in return on a2. Still very close to equal, by the way. Oh, he misses it. Rook b7 was the move. Now I'm better, but how do I win this? I guess I'll go b6. Go here, guard the pawn. Pawn stops knight e5 as well, so I should be doing well. Let's go here, offer the trade of the horses. I'm gonna push p if he takes. The rook d7, this allows rook c3, and now I just win the game. Can I do a bullet view arena? I definitely could at some point. Not right now, but I could. So, anyway. This account will always be 500. Yes, it will be. It should always be 500. Okay, so I played e4. Let's play one last Queen's Gambit decline game, and then I'll think of a third. What's a third basic opening? Yeah, knight c3 is fine. Knight f3 is fine. I'm gonna recommend knight f3 here because it's just a lot slower and simpler to play. Thank you so much to Anonymous for 2 gifted subs. Do I go to the gym? Not regularly. I do go running quite a bit still, but I don't go to the gym not that often, at least. Okay, play c5. We're gonna get another Ben Oni, not an opening I recommend at beginner level. Same as a King's Indian, you end up with a lot less space. You're very hard to play hyper modern openings without space. Go here, e4, of course, build our big white center again. Very straightforward. Let's see what he does. Beginners struggle with many different things. There are many different things they struggle with. So I'm going to take. He goes there, which is actually not the worst move here. It's a little bit dubious because of queen b3 to hit the pawn. I think it's said that top players nowadays rarely go for open Sicilians and instead go for coward sidelines, kind of. Now I'm gonna go e4 here. The reason I'm gonna do this is because I'm very quickly attacking on the queen side, and he hasn't developed these pieces yet, so that's why I'm willing to let him take and give me the double pawns. Goes knight e7. Okay, now that he plays knight e7, I'm still gonna allow him to take, so I'm gonna follow through with my plan to put pressure on the diagonal immediately. I can actually go e5 here. I'm just going to really attack immediately. I'm going to try to attack him before he finishes development. Did I see the OTB chess app on Ish launch a few days ago? I didn't see it. I would say it feels like everybody's trying to launch something to hit. Everyone's hoping that there's going to be something that hits, is what I would say. And maybe it will, maybe it won't. Who knows? He goes there. Now I'm going to go here. I'm going to fork the queen and the bishop here. And then I'm going to castle and go rook e1. This is very, very bad already for white. Scotch I've played a million times in the view arenas. That's just a Botez gambit. Not great. Not great. Okay, so we've done a few of these. Somebody says play Scotch gambit fine. I'll play e4. I think against Sicilian, I actually really like the Alapin or the c3 system with c3. I think it's one of the better approaches. e5 pretty rare, by the way, because it gives white this open diagonal here to use for free. Play the cow. I could. Now this looks slightly wrong too, but I'm just gonna play d3. Knight g5 might be good, but I'll play d3, guard the pawn, guard the bishop, use this diagonal to maximum effect. The username is definitely interesting. Let's play a3 and b4 here. I'm going to do this because now I support the pawn thrust. I also have b5 to tickle the horse maybe as well. Who's winning the world championship? I mean, Ding is a clear, or not Ding, sorry, Gukesh is a clear favorite, but it's not, I mean, it's not a foregone conclusion. Ding is a big favorite, or I keep saying Ding. Gukesh is a big favorite, but we'll see what happens. It's not as straightforward as you would think it should be, based on what people say. Let's go knight d2 and b5 here. Go here, attack the horse. Okay, I'm going to take and then go knight c4 and d4. Let's go here, attack the pawns in the middle of the board with the horse. Game one is huge. Who is white in game one? Can someone tell me? Who's white in game one? Go here, hit the pawn. Let's just take. I trade the queens and win the knight. Now I'm winning the pawns. I'm up a pawn in the center of the board. This is a disaster. Now I just need to activate this rook. So let's go here, bring the rook into the game. Actually, let's go here and guard everything. Very nice chain. Actually, c4 is a huge mistake. He had g4 to win the game, to win a piece. He missed it. g4 would have undermined the horse and the bishop at the same time. Okay, I'll just take with the bishop. Go here, win one of the rooks. Now this will be a pretty straightforward win. Take Saxon knight. I think I can just take because he's still going to lose one of the rooks. Ding has white in the first game. Okay, let's take big game. Okay, there goes the other rook. Okay, he's just kind of mailing it in here. He's trying to go for a stalemate, but I have no interest. I'm just going to play h3 here. Just go here. Go check. He can't take the pin. I check him, and now it's checkmate. All right, I need to use the restroom quickly, and I'll be right back. Give me 1 second, you guys. Don't know where I need to go again. Too much coffee. Should Ding go over a draw on 14 moves in round 1? Probably not. Okay, let's do one more with the caro-kann. Oh, I maybe I'm missing the question, but no, Ding should go all in round 1. Go all in. Let's go bishop f5 here. Okay, I'm gonna go e6. If g4, I have bishop e4. So now, as long as the bishop's not getting trapped, I'm gonna keep following with my plan. Play knight c6 here. Great position. Am I playing me against this caro-kann? Yes, exactly, I am. Let's go here, attack the bishop, pressure the center of the board here. Am I playing the next candidates if I qualify? Yes. If I don't, I don't. That's how it goes. Takes. I'm going to take with the pawn here. I could take with the queen also. Both captures are playable. Main problem for white though is that objectively I've got these great Bs. Let's go c5, knight e7, knight c6. Actually, that's a blunder by me. Let's see if he spots it. I mean, maybe I qualify, maybe I don't, but honestly, it's not a big deal to me either way. I'm gonna go here on knight c6 to put more pressure on the center of the board. That might be one of, like, when I talk about like pet peeves or things that bother me, one of the things that actually bothers me the most, perhaps, is that it seems as though the people who are actually very strong at chess within the chess world, they definitely hear what I say about how like I'm a content creator first and everything else, and then they proceed to basically ignore it and pretend that I'm just saying things for clicks or content versus it being reality, which is perhaps one big pet peeve I have currently in the world of chess, is that I say these things 100 times and everybody pretend, like the people who are strong chess players, they just pretend it's not true because it's so unfathomable to them that someone who is a pro chess player can have these views. Let's just castle. I can play queen a5 next move. If I take he has d5, but actually d5 I have queen a5 anyway to put pressure on the diagonal. Let's go here, line up the relative pin because I'm pinning the horse, the queen, and the rook, so this is completely relative. Oh, I could have actually taken the rook. I didn't even see that. Do I think I win the candidates if I qualify? Of course I can, but I mean, for me, when I play chess these days, everything is gravy. It's just like playing with house money, and if I win, I win. If I don't, I don't. But I've already won the game, basically, is my attitude. I've already won the game. I've won the game, so like it's not a big deal to me. Let's take the horse. Queen guards the bishop. I've got an extra tower, and the rest will be very straightforward. Go here, try to trade off the towers. I know about one at life, but I won the game. Like I beat chess basically. Let's trade the bishops here. I'm happy to trade down because I have an extra tower. Thanks, you are my English teacher. That's great to hear, Magic TT. I mean, obviously I talk very fast, which is not, I mean, it's not always easy. I can take because there's no ice skater. I cover the back rank, but I do what I can. This is just checkmate. The king is stuck here. This is actually an ice skater. King has no escape square. There's no escape hatch. Will we ever see you play a Tata Steel tournament? Which one? My opponent plays b3. This is actually a very tricky opening to face at the lower levels. Very tricky. I'd probably recommend that you play a reverse London system with d5, bishop f5, e6, and knight f6. Go here, knight f6, very standard, similar to caro-kann's, except the pawn's on this square versus this square. I'll drop back so I can open the file for the rook. Let's just develop the knight. I want to play for c5 here at some point. White's gonna probably go c4 too. Vicon Zay, you mean the January tournament? Pretty unlikely that I'll ever play there again. Pretty unlikely, I would say. Pretty unlikely. Okay, now I'm gonna go c5 here. Goes rook e1. Let's play here. Line up the double A battery as well. Why is that? It's just too long. It's way too long. It's in a location where the weather is pretty terrible, if I'm being honest. Way too long. Weather is bad. Doesn't really serve a purpose in terms of what my goals are these days. This hangs the pawn because I still haven't castled, so now you see why I captured towards the center of the board here. So it doesn't really serve any of the goals that I have in chess these days. It's too long. I mean, financially also, I mean, the prize money is pretty bad, if I'm going to be honest, compared to content creation. I mean, frankly, almost every chess tournament is like that, but I would say, like, effectively it just doesn't serve the goals. Bad weather, too long, low prize fund. I mean, all these things are just make it unlikely. I'm gonna go here to maybe create a checkmate pattern idea here. I also already won the turn, which doesn't help either, so it's not like I feel any like great pull. Go check, attack the king. Let's go here. Okay, we're gonna try to assault the knight. See what he does here. Let's take, and now I mate with the queen. The queen leaps from behind and starts attacking the king. In January, the weather is very bad there. Okay, I played the caro-kann a bunch. I think Scandinavian also a decent opening that I've mentioned a few times, worth playing. Let's go queen a5 here. c6 to create the squares for the queen, and now you start your development the rest of the way. Go here, followed by e6. Again, very similar structure with the bishop outside this pawn chain. You'll notice that I'm getting this bishop with this pawn chain. It could be here, it could be on c6, but this bishop is generally outside the pawn chain in a lot of these openings. It's January in the North Sea, so I mean there are many reasons. Also, what I would say about the tournament is, you know, a lot of these days when I play chess tournaments, I look at what the organizers are doing, and when I look at Norway chess very specifically, when I look at Norway, I'm gonna move the queen so he doesn't have any tricks, because I also line up the AA battery again. When I look at tournaments, a lot of times what I base tournaments off of as well is if it's not like a specific candidates type tournament, like say Norway chess, I play because the organizers do not have guaranteed funding. They have to basically come up with sponsors every year, so they have to sell the tournament, which means they're much more creative, much more innovative in terms of what they try to do, and I definitely applaud that. I'm going to drop back again to try and open up the lane here. I applaud that. So like when you don't have guaranteed money, you have to be creative and innovative, try to change things up. I'm always a big fan of that. It was 94. That's a good move. I'm gonna take and I'm gonna castle queenside because now there's pressure every which way. If he takes, H file opens too. Let's just go here. He'll probably take, open up the lane. Okay, let's go here, open up the center. Now there are all kinds of diagonals that are in play. So let's take, and now I take. I mean, I'll give you an example. Like I enjoy playing in St. Louis, for example. I've enjoyed playing there for much of my career. But when you look at those tournaments, the funding is guaranteed. So there's really nothing that has changed fundamentally in those tournaments since they really started happening, almost maybe a decade or a little bit more. Like if you look at the Grand Chess Tour, it's the same thing. I mean, it's different players, but it's the same format for Rapid and Blitz and the classical tournament. Nothing has changed since they started that about a decade ago, and I'm really not a fan of that in chess. I think that it's very clear to me that if you're trying to increase the reach of the game versus simply paying out the players, you know, you have to do things differently. Let's play a6 here. I don't want to hang a checkmate on a7. Like what's happening now is not a success. Now if the argument is that the tournament is what it is and you don't want chess to grow, that's completely fine. If you just want the players to get paid, that's nice and fine. But it's just like, again, one of those things where if that's the goal, that's fine, but then don't ever basically act like chess should be bigger than it is currently. So I'm playing knight d5, hit the pawn and the bishop here. h2 is still a little bit weak. Do I go live every day? This week I'm going live every day, but I would say most weeks I usually stream Tuesday. I always will stream Tuesday until the day that I retire. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays I almost always stream, and then sometimes I stream Monday, sometimes I stream Friday, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday are pretty much the guaranteed days that I'm going to be streaming. I'm going to go g5, g4, just try to attack very quickly on the king side here. Maybe he goes there. Okay, I'm gonna go g4, attack the knight. I can also play rook g8 to attack on the file as well. Okay, let's just actually knight d4 is a good move. It's a little bit dangerous for me, a little bit dangerous. I'm gonna go knight b6 or attack the queen, and then knight c4 maybe. I didn't want to do this, but I kind of have to. I need to close the queen side here. Make a 1 minute arena, not today, maybe another day. Go a5. I don't want to let him attack here, so I want to keep this closed. No open lanes, no open lanes here. No rook b1. Okay, bishop e3. Let's go bishop c5. I'm trying to create some big threats. I go here, and I think we're going to get potentially a family fork. Maybe a family fork. Probably not, but maybe. Do I think chess in Europe is dying? No, I don't think chess is dying. Not at all. But I think changes are needed. That's not the worst move, but at the end of the day, he ends up down a bishop here. I just have bishop on c5. Go here, maybe knight c4 next move. Should be pretty good. Go here, fork the rooks here. Do I see the stream as part of training? I think nowadays not so much, but I think it gave me a big edge in the period right after the pandemic, because I think pretty much chess players were extremely lazy during the COVID times. They were doing nothing at all. They were literally sitting at home, not studying or anything. Whereas my games that I would play against the top players online, I think were huge, like huge. They were tremendously important for me. And I think a lot of people underestimated how much of a role that could play in terms of being sharp or staying sharp. I'm gonna go for something really cool here. I'm gonna play e5 to fork the knight, or pin the knight I should say, try and win the knight because of the pin. He's gonna take, I'm gonna sack the rook, and when he takes, I check and I attack the rook. It's a double attack. He doesn't take, so now I just move the rook back, bring the rook over. Don't want to hang anything here. So if the rooks guard each other and they guard the bishop guards them as well, it's all good. Everything guards each other here. It's a right triangle obviously as well. Just go check, take the pawn. Go check, hit the king. Go check, attack the king. I'm gonna line up this rook c7 move just to get the towers off the board, because then I can just push my piece straight down. Go here, because now I just push my piece straight up the board. I just go b5, and then I just push my p. Now the easiest way to win is to do the ladder technique. Here comes the ladder technique. Maybe time for one more. Let's try one more d4, c4. No, let's play a London. Actually, let's play a London. Let's go bishop d3. I guess I'll take with the queen here. Go a3, stop knight before, and then I'm gonna play knight bd2 and c4 here, and maybe takes knight e5. It's castle. I'm gonna play g3 to reinforce a chain. I still want to go knight e5 at some point. Go here, bring the knight over. Go back. He does have c5 here, which is not a bad move. Goes b5, which I don't like. Now I'm going to aim for f5 to play with the double stack on the file. Let's go here, cut off the horse, no jump. Okay, now I go f5. Now we're going to use a double stack. I might even line it up into a triple stack with queen to e2. Here comes a triple stack. Look at this triple stack. And black's in all kinds of trouble. I'm going to develop the knight. I can still take the pawn whenever I want. Do I find Alireza to be my most difficult opponent? I mean, he's up there for sure. I mean, I don't think there's any real difference. Magnus is obviously the toughest. But what I would say is that I think Alireza and Arjun are very close. Very, very close. Both players were very tough to play against. So let's go knight e5 and hit the pawn on c6 here. Should be very, very good here. Hit the pawn. I think I just take. Go rook d6, knight e5 should be winning. Have I ever played Arjun in a blitz match? I have not. No, I'm gonna check and take. He almost survives this, but not quite. So I take, and then I just take, and it should be winning. No, this is the last arena. We're gonna play blitz after this. Let's take. Go c3, guard the pawn, rook a5, take, GG. Just keep pushing the p up the board. Let's make a queen. Go check. Go check and take the knight. Now it's a matter of just creating the checkmate here. Take almost a stalemate, by the way, but not quite. I have checkmate here. And there we go. And now queen e2 will be checkmate, and that'll be GG. Arjun or Alireza, which one do you think is better? Will have will be better next year. I mean, Arjun is who I think is better. Arjun is who I think is better. That's what I would say. I think Arjun is better. Yeah. I'm just gonna eat a little chicken. Give me a second. All right, end of the arena. All right, finished in second place with 81 points out of 21. First place, Thief of Hope with 90 points from 31 games. So yeah, there we go. All right, so the arena is over. Give me a second. That was actually fun. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys got something out of that. I tried to keep it very, very basic level.